especially in your business. So we're going to talk about leadership, we're going to talk about business today, but I want to make sure you understand that those guys got out because people on the surface had a plan and the people on the inside of the mind had a plan. In fact, one specialist said this. He said, I've seen rescue missions and I've seen successful rescue missions. The worst thing you can do is just have people panic and start digging holes. Let me let that sink in for a second. He said people rushed to this site when they found out they were trapped and said, let's just start digging. He said, whoa, we need to assess where they are. We need to assess the risk of everything. Find out, will the ground support drilling? He said we had to have a strategy to even start digging a hole. And the first thing we do when we get an idea, we start digging holes. Yes, I'm doing it. And we end up making a mess of things simply because we did not have strategy. So with that said, I want to talk about there are 4 keys to becoming a strategic leader that I'm going to go over today. The first one is confronting your fears. The second one is embracing your failures. That should be a good talk. The third one is owning your habits. And the fourth one is connecting to the right circles. Let's talk about strategy, because we can't be a strategic leader unless we understand what a strategy really is. By definition, a strategy is important or essential in relation to a plan of action, a careful plan or method, a clever strategy. Now, when you talk to CEOs, and I've read different studies, you read Success Magazine, they did this study of about 400 to 500 different CEOs, asking them, what are your biggest fears? What are the things that concern you about going into the next level or the next venture of business? And most of them said not being prepared for the future. Most of them said, I'm concerned not so much about failure, but about not being ready for what's about to happen. Do you realize that if you are just now coming into what's happening now, you're already 2 steps behind? The awesome thing about being a strategic leader is you are forecasting what's about to happen. You're on the crust of things. You're at the curve, at the crest of the wave of things that are about to happen. And when you're there, your business, I assume that we're in business to be profitable, correct? I assume none of us are starting any businesses or working where we are to fail intentionally, right? We didn't have any coffee today, but right? This is interactive, so we can flow like that. So if we're not in the business to fail intentionally, we need to know what's about to happen. Be on that curve of things so that we can not play checkers, but actually play chess. You know, checkers is a reactionary game. You jump me, I jump you. You jump me, I jump you twice. Checkers is like that, but chess is a game of strategy. You're thinking 5, 6, 7 moves down the line. In fact, in chess, you're willing to sacrifice one thing to just get in the right position. You know you're a strategic leader when you say, you know what, I'm going to take this job, doctor, that might be $7,000 less than I really was looking to make, but it's going to put me in the right position to be with the right people, to get the training. In fact, when you're a strategic leader, you'll do something as an intern and not get a dime for it. What in the world? What are you talking about, Early Jackson? I'm in business to make money. Right, but you can't make money till you learn about your profession. And especially if you're making a jump, anybody here making a jump from careers to something that is totally different than what you've done before, you can learn life 2 ways. You can either learn life by mistakes, or you can learn life by mentors. Those are pretty much only 2 options. You're going to learn through mistakes or mentors. Someone's going to teach you, or you're going to try it by yourself and mess up. And the problem with that is this generation is screaming, experience is the best teacher. Well, when you get about 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40-ish, you really don't have time to make a whole lot of mistakes. It gets very costly at that point. And when you make a mistake at 40, it may take you 3 years to get back to where you were before. Am I right about it? Yeah. So if that's the case, and if experience is the best teacher, why not buy someone's book or connect with someone as a mentor and get their experience for 20 minutes a week? As opposed to making the mistakes yourself for 10 years, why not buy someone's book or connect with someone who's made those mistakes or who's willing to be transparent and share those things? All right? Success. We can't really be a strategic leader unless we learn how to define success and really understand why are we afraid of success. With 3 reasons. Success puts you in danger because of these three things. Number one, success is an automatic eviction from the herd mentality. Groupthink. There's safety in the herd. No one likes to really go out and intentionally be the one that's the odd man out. I mean, if we were in a room and you kind of got the feel, well, what are people wearing to this type of event? I don't want to be the one in a tuxedo, but I don't want to be the one in cut-off shorts either. You know, everybody wants to kind of be right in the middle of the herd. But when you start becoming successful, you get an eviction notice from what everybody, the normal, right, what average is. My wife gave me a definition years ago of what average was. She said average is simply the best of the bottom. Average is nothing but the best of the bottom. Nobody writes home about average. Nobody really celebrates average. How was that burger? How was that movie? Did you go see the movie? Yeah, it was okay. I'm not rushing out to go see that movie. But if I say, how was the movie? Say, oh my God, Earl, this movie was crazy. I got to go see it now. Just based on your response to me. So average is just right here. Not too high, not too low. Right in the middle. C, low C. Maybe high D. That's that. C, average. And you pass, but nobody remembers it. Second thing, success exposes publicly your strengths and your critics. If you don't want to be criticized, don't get big enough to be seen. Here's the problem. Everybody wants to be successful, but nobody wants to be critiqued. I'd rather be developed by my critics than ruined by my praisers.
Right.
That might have been good enough to write down. I'd rather be developed by my critics than ruined by my praisers. What does that mean? Sometimes, and not sometimes, but a broke clock is right twice a day. So even if you have people that are just broken in your life that just attack you and criticize you, sometimes don't give too much thought, but at least entertain what the critics are saying, because you can use that as fuel to develop a better product. That's the whole thing of a beta testing. That's the whole thing of kind of getting people in the room and letting them see the product before it comes out. Because then you just get all of that stuff out of the way, and if for nothing else, it develops thicker skin in you, so you learn what's really what I need to adjust and what I can ignore. Many times we go to pieces. That was one of the biggest things and the scariest things, Ulysses, about putting out a book. Because putting out a CD is one thing. Talking to people is one thing. But when you put out a book, people find, well, this sentence is pragmatic. Why would he write this? I don't understand it. And it was hurting me the first week. People come up, I don't understand this. I'm like, oh my God. It's like having somebody call your baby ugly. Now you know a woman, a good Christian woman, will almost fight it. You said, that's an ugly baby. Whose baby you calling ugly? When you put your product out there and people begin to evaluate it, you have to be prepared for your critics. And all you can do is take what they said and grow from it. That's right. You don't let it stop you. Because my mentor, she's a life coach from Tennessee, her name's Zoe Schuster. She said that her mentor put out a book and somebody walked up to her and said, what is all this self-help crap? I don't believe this stuff. And he said, okay, thank you. And he went to take the book back and she was like, well, I bought it. He was like, okay, well, be quiet. Where's your book? While you're criticizing, where's yours? So you have to understand and take a grain of salt with your critics. Third thing, success requires more and more being. I love this part right here. We're not human doers, we're human beings. We're beings. Being is a state of mind. It's constantly evolving into the person that you dreamed you were. It's constantly evolving into the person that you know you are when no one sees you beyond your failures. And the problem with success, the paradox with success is that the more successful you are, people's expectations of you go up. So guess what happens next time? They have a baseline of what they're expecting you to perform with. So you can't do this. Because people, that's not success. Once you reach a level of success, that becomes the standard by which we expect of you. That's your brand. That's what you promised us with your nonverbal contract. So because I went to Ulysses' last event and it was so successful, when I walked in, there was a minimum expectation that I had, because this is event number 2. If I came in and it was subpar, I'd be like, well, what happened here? Because the first one was, and you've met people that impressed you on the first interview, and you interviewed them the second time, and you was like, it's hard to fake it twice, ain't it? It's hard